you've already risen for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning.
Good morning.
Moines County Board of Supervisors, October 8th, 2024. Are there any changes to the tentative agenda?
You have to remove a work session for today.
Okay. Meet with department heads, elected officials. Cheryl McVeigh, Des Moines County Budget Director from the Auditor's Office.
Good morning, Tom. We wanted to let people know that the political parties are sending out absentee ballot request forms. And if you've already filled one out, you don't have to continue to fill out more and more and more and send those in. We're getting lots of duplicates on that, and October 16th will be the first day that we can actually send out those ballots. So if you haven't received it yet, it's because we can't send them yet. So also rural cleanup is October 7th through December 14th. So just let everybody know that.
So the earliest anybody would receive one would be the 18th.
Right,
And that's the earliest.
exactly.
Okay. I believe you have some history of people coming in on the 16th and said, my ballot didn't show up.
Yeah, it's kind of inconvenient that those dates are identical, that's the first day you can vote in the auditor's office, and it's also the first day that we can mail ballots, so a lot of people show up at the window wanting to vote because they didn't get their ballot by mail, so they're not gonna get it until about the 18th. Hopefully.
Thank you, Cheryl.
You're welcome.
Captain Glenn Denny, Des Moines County Sheriff.
Good morning. We're plenty busy on the law enforcement side, but really no major news there. We're starting to have those discussions about our events for this winter. Shop with the Cop, Toys for Tots, starting the planning on those. Our bigger projects, the radio project, and we're moving forward on those, and should be kicking that off sometime late November, making that transition. Other than that, we are at 100 population at the correctional center, and about 28, 29 out of county. But we're starting to see that soften a little bit. We have 5-ish that are heading out today. So hopefully we can find some room there.
It's the prison had opened up, so Lisa can start sending them there.
Well, I know Judge Wright is back, and everyone who didn't have a pretrial conference went to prison yesterday. So, he was very effective.
Everybody on our prison list, Oakdale took, so they're heading up, but our list for that residential facilities, 6 or 7. Some of those are 3-ish months old that we've been holding on to, so they're getting credit for that time, double time actually, but we're sitting on them for pretty lengthy amounts of time before there's room at the residential facility, so we continue to work on that.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Yes, sir.
Krista Pogemiller, Local Health Director.
Good morning. Yes, we've got an exciting day. Today is a ribbon cutting for the new Des Moines County Public Health Building. So that's at 505 Curran Street. We start at noon, and then there's an open house to follow until 2 o'clock where people, anyone that comes, can tour the new facility. We're excited for that. Now our office is closing today at 11:30 and will be closed through the week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we'll open up regular hours Monday, the 14th at 8 o'clock, and we will be opening in the new building and go back to our regular scheduled clinics.
Thank you, Krista.
Thank you.
Jared Lassiter, Land Use.
Morning. Well, we've been keeping busy as usual this past week. Unfortunately, at least a portion of that has been related to zoning permits where someone built something, or at least started building something without filing a permit beforehand. We've been having that issue. I mean, it's been, as long as we've had zoning, I'm aware of that being an issue. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of bad information out there. A lot of people, when I inform them of the issue, a lot of times they'll say that they ask somebody about it. Oftentimes they'll ask their contractor, but then the contractor doesn't know, or they assume that there's no permits outside the city. So We just want to remind everybody that if you're not sure if you need a permit, please ask. If you don't know to contact me directly, you can contact somebody. Ask somebody at the courthouse. Ask somebody at the city. Somebody in local government, and they should be able to direct you where you need to go and determine for sure whether you need a permit, and better be safe than sorry on that. So we want to make sure that people are doing it the right way going forward. So just wanted to put that out there. So that's all I have for today.
People keep forgetting, huh? Darn.
Thank you, Jared. Chris Lee, the Moines County Conservation Director.
We have applied for our permits.
You're not exempt.
Right, that's a process. So we are looking at doing some ADA improvements around the nature center. I'll be surprised if we get that pulled off yet this year, because we're kind of running out of season to pour concrete, but we did get a grant from the Area Foundation several months back, and so we're doing that, and then we got a grant from Delta Dental to put in an outdoor water fountain. There used to be one there that was built, I think, in 1984, which was almost before I existed, and it's been dead for a long time, and so we got a grant to replace that. It's gonna be like a bottle filler with a dog waterer on the bottom of it. So we're gonna try to get that installed. This stuff will all probably happen in spring, but since the nature center does technically sit in the floodplain or at the edge of the floodplain, it's kinda hard to tell exactly where that line is drawn. We are doing the floodplain process, and the state owns the property, and so we're going through that process as well. And then along the lines of permitting as well, we had gotten FEMA funding to replace the rock on our boat ramps, and navigating that permitting process took a long time. Well, now we're kind of out of boating season, and so my opinion is we just wait until next year's flood, and then we'll rock it after that. So we're gonna see if we can just wait and do that. I don't think the duck hunters will mind too much if we don't have fresh rock on the boat ramp parking lots, as long as the docks remain out. Other than that, at the Nature Center, Center staff is working on putting a lot of fall programs together. We have 3 fall color hikes scheduled for evenings, so it's at 6 o'clock in the evenings, starting next Thursday, I do believe. So it's a Thursday, and Tuesday for the remainder of this month, to try to kind of catch that golden hour and get out there and see the fall color. The fall color at Stars Cave is just absolutely phenomenal, and we're on track to have some really great color this year. We're, unlike last year, where like it just went from summer to winter and then all the leaves fell. We're on track to have some really great color this year. So we encourage folks to come out to that, and then we're getting some other stuff. We're gonna have some. We're looking to put together like some 5K run walks for some fundraisers. We're gonna partner with some local nonprofit organizations to do those as well, and kind of share the proceeds with some different nonprofits around. So just different things we're exploring. We're coming into grant season as well, so I'll be writing several different grants for different projects that we've got going on coming up. So expect to hear some grant awards coming up, I hope. Other than that, I think that's probably about it for now.
Thanks, Chris. Ken Hyman, Mental Health Agency of Southeast Iowa.
Good morning. Tomorrow is our Mental Health Agency of Southeast Iowa meetings, the stakeholder meeting and the governing board meeting, and we'll get our regular business done. With me retiring in December, I'm just trying to make sure all the records are digitized and in the statewide system, and things are going well otherwise, so business as usual.
Thank you, Ken.
Yep.
Shannon Prado, Emergency Management Coordinator.
Good morning. I just had a couple things to note on. I have been planning for CERT Academy. That will be the first 2 Saturdays in November. We currently have 11 constituents signed up, so CERT Academy is for just any citizens who would like to be more prepared in the event of disasters. CERT stands for Community Emergency Response Team. At the end of the academy, if you don't want to join the team, you don't have to. It just helps you be a little bit more prepared in the event of a disaster. So it's a good class to take. Like I said, it's the first 2 Saturdays in November, 8 to 5. And all the information for that is on my website. I also wanted to just touch on, I have moved the rest of what I have for supplies of emergency management over to my office. And I recently discovered the stockpile of medical supplies that I had from COVID, from the state, so I have some PPE left from that. So if there's any non-for-profit entities such as the Sheriff's Department, Police Department, etc., Fire Department, that need any gowns, N95 masks, etc., that's the parameters, is it needs to be a non-for-profit
Do you have any gloves left?
entity. I do not, no gloves.
We have lots of gowns and.
Yes.
and,
So if anybody needs gowns or masks, that's pretty much what I have, no gloves, sorry. But I have those and I'm happy to get those out.
Kevin, we have some in the basement. We do, yes.
We'll be glad to put those to use.
Okay, we'd be glad to get them out of there.
Oh, great.
Thank you, Shannon. Janelle Naller-Longquist, Des Moines County Treasurer.
Good morning. Just keeping busy like everyone else, nothing new to report, but I do have a couple of agenda items.
Thank you, Janelle. Natalie Steffner, Des Moines County Recorder.
Good morning. Everything's going well in the recorder's office. Within the last couple of weeks, you gentlemen should have received an email from ISAC about the recording fee revenue and the modernization project. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at that or anything, but just some stuff that we're hoping to get passed forward with bringing some more revenue and some fee policy changes that haven't been changed since 1985, so quite some time. So if you'll take a look at that and just let me know if you have any questions. But otherwise, yep, just business as usual.
Thank you, Janelle. Lisa Schaefer, Des Moines County Attorney.
We're busy as always. These two have kept us barely treading water, but we're getting by. We're busy with jury trials. This time of year seems to be extremely busy for jury trials. Everyone's on vacation in the summertime and they're wanting to get everything done before the holidays hit. So we've been doing jury trials almost weekly for the last several weeks, and we'll continue to do so for the next few weeks. I did want to take the opportunity to introduce our new administrative assistant, Brandon Weddle. He'll be replacing Kathy. She's gonna stick around long enough over the next few weeks to get him all trained up so he knows what he's doing. And then she's gonna phase out of her part-time position, probably by end of October, beginning of November. We wish her well. We're sorry to see her go, but she has other obligations that are far more important than working for me. So we're glad Brandon's aboard. He's just started yesterday, and we do have his personnel action on the agenda today. But for anyone who is looking to contact Kathy, she's hit or miss. She's coming in really just for training purposes, and Brandon will be the go-to guy for our office.
Welcome aboard, Brandon.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Sorry about your boss.
She's wonderful.
Thank you.
Brainwashed already.
Thank you,
He
Lisa.
checked off that box.
Thank you, Lisa. Brian Carter, Secondary Roads.
Good morning. I guess business as usual. The bridge projects that we've talked about are moving along, hoping that maybe by the end of the week, they'll have the North Bridge approach port switch over, maybe pour the south one next week. So that's good progress. So there is work going on there, and hopefully as soon as they're done with that, they're gonna move down and do the exact same thing on the Upper Flint Bridge. So, yeah, other than that, the guys are out. We've been working on Beaverdale underneath the bridge, trying to get some erosion dealt with. So, so that's been moving on. Tough place to work, so that's been slow going, but still doing some ditching. The plans for the Highway 99 asphalt job and the plans for the Highway 34 asphalt job have both turned in. So those will bid through the DOT in January. And then we are working in-house on some asphalt plans for Seven Ponds Road, a little patch of Tama Road, and South Prairie Grove. So just the existing paved portions on all of those, we're hoping to bid those at the same time and try to take advantage of hopefully some better prices. So those are the local projects, I guess, but we're still working on those. I would mention that Lisa and I spoke at the chamber to a group of kids. It was probably the most interactive group of kids I've ever had, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair at all for an engineer to have to speak at the same time with a county attorney.
Lucky we're on trial.
They're far better spoken, I guess, or at speaking, and their stories are vastly more interesting. Pretty much nobody cares at all what the engineer has to say, so, but.
We've been trying to tell you that.
I'm gonna let that go. But, anyway, I think that's a good event. I think those kids, I think, don't just get forced to go there, I think they get to choose it, and I
Yeah, I
think
think
one
they
was
have to
an
apply.
aspiring attorney, and
Yes.
he really,
He wanted a job.
he wanted a job, yes, he did, so I give him, he's got the go to it gene or whatever, so, anyway.
If only he wasn't 16.
Yeah, yeah. So we did that, and I think that's a good event, so maybe more people will be able to do it next year. But anyway, other than that, plenty of stuff going on.
Thank you, Brian. Pretty goody. Either of you gentlemen have any correspondence?
I do not.
I have none. We will proceed to discussion and vote. We have appointment, I guess that's plural, to the Conservation Board. Mr. Garnios resigned a few weeks ago, and you have an opening at the end of the year. One of your board members is timed out or not. Anyway, so we have two excellent applicants, so we just number of applicants we needed. And Kathy Wunderlich was first, so we will appoint her to the current opening. And then Terry Davis, appoint him. I assume he can start coming to your meetings whenever he wants, but he goes on the board then, would be January.
January,
Okay. And I would entertain a motion to,
Move to approve both of them.
I'll second that. Cheryl?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. We have a proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In light of the fact that my dental issues remain unabated, I would take it as a personal favor if Shane would read this.
I'd be glad to. We skipped
Oh, I did. Oh, okay, well.
I'll read that when
I-
you get it.
Yeah, when we get a chance. Chief, I apologize, I skipped right over you.
No issues.
It was unintentional, I assure you. We have the 2024 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Agreement.
Well, good morning. First of all, I want to thank you for providing me the opportunity to come and speak before you guys. Each year, the Burlington Police Department, in collaboration with the Sheriff's Department, has an opportunity to apply for a federal JAG grant. This year's grant is for approximately $15,000. The primary use for the grant is to further law enforcement through technology. Currently, the plan in place would be to implement a license plate reader program within the city limits of Burlington. That would include 12 readers at key entry and exit points to the city. For the county side of it, there is no expense and there is no obligation attached. The interlocal agreement, which was approved last night by the city council and also signed by the city attorney, simply allows us to move forward in the process to get the money. And if we get the money and I am able to secure some additional outside funding, I anticipate having the program up and running by July of 2025. A little bit about license plate readers. If you're not familiar with them, they simply read license plates. The only people who should fear license plate readers are those who are committing crimes in our community against our citizens. We're kind of on an island right now of not having them. Monmouth, Galesburg, Peoria, Illinois State Police, Chicagoland, Quad Cities, Des Moines Metro, Hannibal, and Quincy all have them. We become a part of that network. So the three primary goals and objectives for the program would include enhanced crime detection and prevention, support investigations countywide, and increase operational efficiency. So we're anxious as a police department to advance our department through technology and also be able to utilize our resources a little bit better, and using the JAG grant is a perfect opportunity to do that with less cost to the taxpayers of the city of Burlington. So if you have any questions, like I said, the interlocal agreement is simply that mechanism that we include the sheriff's office. Once we have the program up and running, we would then meet with the sheriff and see what level of participation of receiving the data that we get from him that he would like to have, if any. So if you have any questions, I do know I spoke to the Clinton Police Chief, Marshalltown, Mason City, and several others throughout the country, and it's truly a game changer. This technology will allow us to solve a lot more crimes and be able to catch those people who seek refuge in our community who are hiding from other law enforcement jurisdictions. So I'm highly in favor of it. Hopefully you are too, and we can move forward with this program.
Sounds like a win-win situation.
Absolutely, sir.
I appreciate your comments, Schaefer. I apologize again for skipping over you. So, either you gentlemen have any?
I motion to approve. A second.
Cheryl?
Shane Campbell.
Yep.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Tom Broker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh,
So we need you to sign it and then Cheryl to make copies after the meeting's over, and then I'll take the original back to
do
you.
you want me to stamp it?
Pardon?
Do you want us to stamp it?
I don't have, you just need to sign it.
Okay.
Thank you again. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Let me give it to Cheryl. Okay. Where was I? The Domestic Violence Awareness Month proclamation, and Shane volunteered. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. This agreement is made and entered on the 7th day of, oh, no, that's Jag.
I can. No, I gave it, that's here, I apologize, I've got pressure on my tear duct, I got water in my eyes, can't read. Falling apart right here on the.
Oh, we're gonna hold you together, Tom. Well, this is a proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, October 24. Whereas domestic abuse, dating abuse, and stalking affects women, children, and men of all racial, cultural, and economic backgrounds, causing long-term physical, psychological, and emotional harm. Whereas 1 in 3 Americans have witnessed an incident of domestic violence, and whereas children who experience domestic abuse are at a higher risk for failure in school, mental illness, substance abuse, suicide, and may choose violence in a way to solve problems later in life. Whereas domestic abuse in rural communities exists as a hidden, silent, and often unrecognized crime that's often underreported. And whereas through the inspiration, courage, and persistence of victims of domestic abuse, their children and advocates, our communities are learning to recognize the impact of violence in the home and within intimate relationships. Whereas DVIP and RVAP have worked to end violence and abuse in intimate relationships for more than 45 years through the collaborative partnerships of advocates, volunteers, local municipalities, criminal justice, health and human services, faith communities, business leaders, and private citizens. Whereas our community's achievements should be commended, and we must continue our commitment to respect and support victims of domestic abuse and to prevent future violence in our community. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Des Moines County Board of Supervisors, do hereby proclaim the month of October 24 to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Des Moines County, Iowa, and we urge all people to work together to eliminate domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking from our community. Signed this 8th day of October 2024.
Thank you, Shane.
Second.
Cheryl?
Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes, please.
Tom Broker.
Yes. Would either of you young ladies like to speak?
I would, yes. How much time do I have? Just a few minutes. I have some stats. My name is Shauna. This is Jenny Daly. She is our new advocate for Des Moines and Henry County for victim survivors. I run the transitional house, which is called Journey House here in Burlington. And that is for victim survivors of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual harassment, and sexual assault. I also am the Southeast Region Housing Coordinator. I help client survivors in our 4 service counties, which is Des Moines, Henry, Lee, and Van Buren, try to find housing after they have left an abusive situation or remain in their housing through our rapid rehousing and homeless prevention programs. So I just want to thank everybody in our communities for helping support our program. As of October 1st, we are also now RVAP. So for 45 years, we have been DVIP, which is domestic violence. We merged or transitioned into the sexual assault realm. So we are now in charge of rape victims advocacy program as well. So instead of just the DV, we'll be working with client survivors of sexual assault. So just a few stats, and I won't take up too much time. So a few things that is very specific and wonderful to our organization is we have a safe pet program. So we are one of 2 domestic violence sexual assault programs in the state of Iowa that have this. We are able to foster people's pets, or if they cannot, if we don't have room for them at our emergency shelter in Iowa City, then we can help pay for if a person needs to take it to a shelter for boarding, or we can help with food costs, because as we all know, pets are part of the family, and the percentage of victim survivors that will not leave an abusive situation because they do not want to leave their pets is astronomical. So this is one of the great things about our program. And it's called the Safe Pet Program. And we collaborate with several different organizations across the United States. The biggest one is the Red Rover Project. So, just for Des Moines County, in our fiscal year, in Burlington alone, we served 321 victim survivors.
Wow.
Individuals in all of Des Moines County, 341. Different services, 3,111 different services, and hours was 4,322. And those are just the reported. Imagine how many are not reported. So our work continues. Some of the services that we offer, safety planning, all of our services are free and confidential. Nobody has to pay anything for our services. We offer 24-hour, 7 days a week advocacy, working with law enforcement, medical, social services. We do have a 24-hour safe shelter, which is in Iowa City. We are in the process of opening our new shelter, which has doubled the size and capacity from 45 victim survivors, and that includes children. Our new shelter is opening this month in Iowa City, and that will serve 70. So imagine, going from 45 to 70 and all of the work that goes along with each one of those clients. I kind of talked about, I run the transitional house, which is here in Burlington. That's not a shelter. So the shelter that we do have, again, is an immediate emergency shelter. That's in Iowa City. So that doesn't work for everybody. People have jobs, people have children that they can't just rip out of school. So if a person cannot get to Iowa City, it just isn't feasible, then we have to work on other solutions. And that's kind of where our rapid rehousing or homelessness prevention program will come into play. We offer trauma-informed one-to-one counseling, peer support, and support groups. I will say, since COVID, we used to have a support group that was for the community. That went away, but we are in the process of bringing that back, so that will be open to everybody that wants, not just clients that are living at one of our transitional houses, which is right now where our support groups are based out of. We offer youth services, again, emergency pet sheltering, mobile advocacy, forensic exam advocacy, resources referrals, housing assistant, community education, technical assistant, prevention education, and volunteer opportunities. So another number just to throw out there, and again, this is reported in our 8 service county area, DVIP, RVAP served 2,563 individuals across the 8 counties in our fiscal year. So just a few events, because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we do Shop for Safety this Thursday. We will be at the Burlington Hy-Vee on Angular from 2:30 to 4. And what we do
I'm
is,
sorry, what day is that?
this Thursday, which is the 10th. So what we do is we have it's kind of a wish list, what most clients are in need of, what our transitional houses are in need of. For the last 2 years, what we have received on the Shop for Safety has provided us with 9 months of goods for our transitional houses and our outreach clients. So we get food, diapers, baby food, any paper products, toilet paper, that's the biggest thing, toilet paper, paper towels, that we're always in need of. So that again, and we are also in other communities in Mount Pleasant, Keokuk, and Fort Madison on the same day. We also do in October, Sweets for Safety. It used to be called Cookies for Cops, but we didn't want to just include the cops, the police, not that, those aren't fantastic, but there are other people that are involved. So we have decided that we are going to take cookies, sweets, and these are all donated items, to EMTs, the fire department. We take them to the 911 dispatch just to show our appreciation for all of the collaborations that you guys help with us. And that's just, we kind of schedule that here and there in October. We do the proclamations at the city council meetings and the board of supervisor meetings, just to thank you guys again for working with us and our clients. And the last thing is October 17th is Wear Purple Day to support victim survivors of domestic violence. I have some pamphlets and I will put them over there. I didn't put them over there prior, sorry, I apologize. If you guys have any questions, or will be here through the meeting if anybody afterwards has any questions.
We appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a suspension of property taxes request that I think Janelle's gonna address.
Okay, yeah, section 427.9 allows for the suspension of property taxes upon eligibility. It stops the interest and prevents it from going, the taxes from going to tax sale. But upon ownership change, all those taxes become due and payable. And they can be paid during the suspension as well. It helps the person, to suspend them so they're not accruing interest.
They've been approved by DHS.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Janelle. So I would entertain a motion to approve that suspension.
I move to approve. Second?
Cheryl?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes, please.
Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. Class C liquor license for the Peterson wedding on November 2nd at the Barn on the Ridge. The sheriff is fine with this. If I could get a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Cheryl?
Shane McCampbell?
Yes.
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Tom?
Yep. Yes. Close enough.
Close.
We have personnel actions. We have one for the correctional center. We have Peyton Krogmeyer, a new hire, part-time correctional officer, the rate of $17.69 an hour.
Motion to approve. Second.
Cheryl?
Shane McCampbell?
Yes.
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Tom Broker?
Yes. And we have 3 for the auditor's office. We have Teresa Johnson, an election worker, temporary part-time from October 16th to November 5th, about $15 an hour. We have Teresa Hicks, an election worker, temporary part-time from October 16th to November 5th, at $15 an hour. We have Evelyn Swearingen, election worker, temporary part-time from October 16th to November 5th, 2024, $15 an hour.
Approve all 3. Second.
Cheryl?
Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Shane McCampbell?
Yep.
Tom Broker?
Yes.
One of those is kind of questionable.
Which one's that? The one that knows Brian.
The previous auditor, I think, that one.
Teresa? Well, she ought to be familiar with the process.
Yep.
Make sure you crack the whip.
Yeah.
Keep her straight.
Probably cracking it at me.
Okay, we have one for the county attorney. Brandon Weddle, administrative assistant office manager, a new hire, $49,373 a year.
Move to approve and welcome aboard.
I'll second that. Welcome to.
Cheryl?
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Shane McCampbell?
Yep.
Tom Broker?
Yes.
Now you're official.
Now you're official. You're on the
Sorry.
payroll.
Now you can put saying nice things about her.
Yeah. She does actually have the power to make out another one of those. Reports. We have the recorder's report of fees collected September 2024. This report will be on file at the auditor's office and available for public review at your convenience. We have minutes for the regular meeting of October 1st, 2024.
Motion to approve minutes?
Second.
Cheryl?
Shane McCampbell?
Yes, please.
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Tom Broker?
Yes. Any other business?
I have none.
We need, we've talked about it a little bit, the old public health building. So you had Trent do some research for it, it needs to be a public sale, I understand. I would sort of assume, but that's a dangerous thing, you have you go out, for a sealed bid, to be delivered with an explanation. I know there'd be something that should say something in that, an understanding, like the county engineers pointed out, we'll have a common wall there. Do we need to have a work session to decide to sell it by sealed bid, or how should we do that? And then, where do we go from here?
I know Trent's been looking into it, I haven't had a chance to talk to him about it, so he would be the better person to ask.
Okay.
But I know he was looking into that.
And he responded.
Yeah, so I don't know, I just haven't had the chance to even touch base with him.
I'll send him an email.
We
Yeah,
should
okay, we can
probably
do that.
see if that's deeded separately. I don't know how this lot's broke out and how long the county's owned it, but if that's not a separate parcel, you might be looking at needing to do a survey to determine proper boundaries. I don't know, I didn't
I
thought
couldn't
about
get you
that
to
until
look at
now.
to look at the,
So, I don't
to
know.
look at that plat, could I?
Trent may have researched
Okay.
some of that too, but it'd be something we need to check into just to see exactly what
Where the property
the existing
was.
deed is, if there is a
Yeah.
deed for that or anything.
Good point, okay. I will email Trent.
He's the man.
Is that okay with both of you guys?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get on.
Future agenda items. Committee reports.
I had a regional planning meeting, kind of a short one. Jared, you might wanna expand on this, if you know more about this here, the scoring process. We're gonna review the scoring
Oh, yeah,
process
just
on it, STCG.
Oh, yeah, it's for we've been doing this for a couple months here, reevaluating the scoring process, but it's for regional planning, we have a certain amount of federal funds each year distributed by the DOT for road projects in the region, which is Des Moines, Henry, Lee, and Loiza. And so we have a scoring process where each year we review each of those applications. We have a special advisory committee that's also involved in that, and in order to determine which are the most deserving projects in the region to obtain that limited amount of funding each year. So we had noticed some issues over time and this is the kind of thing you want to evaluate every so often, is to make sure it's working for the needs of the communities we serve. So we're just in the process of fine-tuning that revised scoring process so that this next round for STBG for 2025 would fall under that new process. So we're working with the board, our board, of which Jim is a member, to just make sure that what we've come up with makes sense for the region, because that's the board will ultimately approve our adoption of that scoring process. So,
thank you, Jared.
Hey
You
Jared,
did
when
a
you
lot
say,
better job explaining than I could.
when you say process, you're talking about just the point categories and what the criteria are and that type of stuff.
Right.
Not the way it's set up overall.
Oh, no, it would still be split into the city and county pools, so it's meant for the city competitive rounds.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yep,
I wanted to make
yep,
sure
oh,
that's
yeah.
what you're limiting to.
It's not gonna affect your.
That's all I wanted to hear.
The only thing I don't like about the whole process is that anybody that's on the board and has anything in the game should not be on the committee.
We do have a.
When you do the point system, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
Right. And previously how we've addressed that is that, knowing that they're likely at any given time, there may be a member on that committee that's actually related to one of the cities that applied. Sometimes we have like a public works official on there. So there's a process by which we always remove because there's a total of 9 members. When we average out the score, we remove the highest and lowest in each case, so that any outliers are taken out of that average. So that's the way we've addressed it going forward. But if that's
Thanks, Jared.
Got nothing. I had nothing. Public input. If anybody from the public would like to address the board, you may email the Board of Supervisors at board@dmcounty.com. That's BOARD@dmcounty.com. Or you can call 319-753-8203 extension 4. That's 319-753-8203, extension 4. We'll give you a couple minutes to initiate that call or that email. In the meantime, does anybody in attendance have any comments or questions? It's your opportunity.
Quiet crowd today. Tracy doesn't even have anything to say.
Would they say never start a fight with somebody that bites ink by the barrel?
That's a good point.
And yet.
I meant to talk about Chris.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Chris Lee. That's what I meant to say.
And yet, it happens all the time.
Yeah, it does.
Ken, you don't have much time left then.
Yep, looking forward to,
6 weeks?
yep, been here 17 years and it's been a great job and appreciate every person I've had the opportunity to serve and all the people I've gotten to work with, so. I don't know what I'm gonna do after that. You know, I've been working since 6th grade and I can't imagine not working every day.
I'm
so.
sure you'll find something to do.
Yes.
I got some volunteer opportunities for you.
There we go.
Get him, Chris. Get him, Chris.
You always play pickleball.
Yeah, pickleball, yeah.
I think you ride that motorcycle. I seen him sitting on a motorcycle here a while
Yeah,
back.
I like to ride the motorcycle and golf, so
Yeah.
those are two things I'll definitely do. Pretty involved in my church too.
Right, getting close. I think they run over my duck.
When,
They run over the duck, Craig.
with the I-word insurance.
Aye.
Still that walk and help, back help
We're
from the
adjourned.
library.
There's
Free.
gloves. So we have some gloves.
I-
You're expecting.
Tracy, they might do something.
Okay.